For our final project, we decided to explore government's role in the lives of the people and if it supports or hinders humanity.
To further consider this idea, we created a survey that asked opinion-based questions about government with regards to individualism and stability.
I believe that government hinders our humanity because it enforces conformity in order to protect humans from their natural state.
In my essay, I argued that government supports our humanity because it creates stability while protecting individualism.
Government and regulations introduce citizens to a life of peace and equality, encouraging individuals to accept each other as neighbors and friends through appreciation of acceptance of each other's individualistic characteristics. This fortified and civilized system protects people from people, the toxic and dangerous ways in which humans are understood to naturally have an instinct to act barbarically threatens a stable community. Because of the fear that this inherent savagery might ruin the harmony and safety in a community, leadership and laws are necessary to maintain a composed state between all people. According to William Golding and Thomas Hobbes, one of the largest threats to humanity are humans themselves. Thomas Hobbes once said, "The right of nature is the liberty each man hath, use his own power as he will himself, for the preservation of his own nature, that is to say, of his own life." Lord of the Flies expands on this philosophy as it depicts humans' natural state of savagery and desire for power, showing that anyone will conform to barbarism once consequence and hierarchy is no longer a threat humans are. Government protects citizens from each other as it enforces laws and rules to maintain serenity and sanity in the community that would otherwise be lost in a world of lawlessness, ultimately avoiding the detrimental effects of people resorting in act in a way that reflects their inner state of mind when living with perfect freedom.
One of the most important aspects of humanity is an individual's ability to think for themselves and make their own decisions. In order to do so, they must be a part of a society that has a governing body to ensure stability while also protecting their individualism. Therefore, government supports humanity and allows each person to be independent and free-thinking to reject conformity within their society. Consequently, government maintains order and preserves stability. Freedom stems from stability, and the absence of government creates an anti-individualistic society that promotes clanism. The Paradox of Individualism by Mark S. Weiner states, "By conflating a minimal or absent state with individual liberty, the view masks the threat of the truly anti-individualistic society could help bring about. This presents the rule of the clan, a theory that states in the absence of government, society would form groups seemingly more important than individualistic ideas. Evidently, this would enforce conformity, as an individual would forfeit his or her personal values to the values of the group, also known as clanism. It is with a government that is dedicated to the public interest that creates freedom and encourages individualism. The order that is enforced by the government preserves the stability in a society by granting the people public services such as police, military, hospitals, and construction that allow them to advance their own interest. It is this stability that is generated by the government that creates the freedom and liberty for the people to be able to not only be recognized as an individual, but enact the benefits that come along with being a separate and distinct person in a society."
The survey we created was given to 5 students, and it asked a series of 5 questions that inquired about things such as government's role, involvement, and relationship with its people. The questions were multiple choice and had 2 possible answers to select from.
One answer leaned towards government hindering our humanity, and the other answer backed up the idea that government supports our humanity. The students had different ideas and opinions about each question, and the results varied between each participant. We filmed the students taking the survey and asked them to tell us their answer and why they chose it.
Do you feel that society allows you as an individual to express yourself when it comes to taking advantage of your freedoms? The options are yes or no, and I'd say yes because the government has laws in place such as freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of press.
What is the relationship between the government and individualism? 1, government supports individualism, and 2, government limits individualism. I think it limits individualism because there are so many laws that prevent people from being able to be creative and expressing themselves. However, they do it in a way that's almost supportive. So I feel like there's kind of 2 answers to it. Like I could see either side, but I do think it limits individualism more because it's harder for people to be able to do things in a government that has so many laws and restrictions on certain things.
So the question is, what is the government's main role in the community? There's A, protect the people and their rights, or B, protect the people from each other by maintaining stability. And I think it should be protect the people and their rights, but I think what happens is it's more protect the people from each other by maintaining stability, because they kind of like have laws to maintain stability in society, like to make sure people don't do anything that's gonna harm others, and that's how they protect people. I don't know if they necessarily protect our rights only because some people could argue that they inhibit our individuality.
Okay, so the question is, do you believe that government focuses on people individually or as a collective whole? The two options are people individually or a collective whole. So we're going to go with U.S. government for this one because it varies government to government. But my answer to this question is as a collective whole. The way the government works and the way it enacts legislation, it's all for the general public as a whole, and usually nothing really focuses on one person individually.
Is peace maintained by acceptance or order? Option 1, by people's acceptance of each other. Option 2, by laws and order. I think that peace is maintained by laws and order because if there was no government, then everyone could just do whatever they want and it would be a free-for-all. So order maintains the peace in our society.
The results of our survey varied, and each question had a different result, and if the majority of the people believe that the government either hinders or supports our humanity.
The first question asked, do you feel that society allows you as an individual to express yourself when it comes to taking advantage of your freedoms or even disobeying orders? 66.7% of the people answered that society did allow and accept people for being individualistic. This leaned more towards the belief that government supports humanity.
The second question was, what is the relationship between the government and individualism? Again, 66.7% of the participants believe that the government supports individualism, showing how it also supports humanity.
We then asked, what is the government's main role in the community? 66.7% say that its main role is to protect the people from each other by maintaining stability, showing that they believe government may hinder humanity.
In the fourth question, do you believe that the government focuses on the people individually or as a collective whole? 100% of the participants answered that the government focuses on more the people as a collective whole rather than individuals, showing how government hinders humanity.
The final question was, is peace maintained by acceptance or order? And 83.3% of the people answered that peace was maintained by law and order. This agrees with the idea that government hinders our humanity. The purpose of our exploration of government's role in the lives of the people was to see if government hinders or supports our humanity, specifically regarding individualism. We discovered that the popular opinion tested through our survey was that government hinders our humanity.
The questions asked in the survey gave us insight into other people's stance on the issue and the varying positions on the topic. By filming the explanation of those who took the survey, we gained understanding of the perspectives and thought processes when answering the questions.
My opinion that government supports our humanity was refuted by the opinions of the participants that took the survey. The survey served its purpose by adding more people's perspectives to the debate and explaining other people's opinions on government and its role in the lives of the people.
My belief was that the government hinders humanity, and this survey was able to settle the debate on whether or not the people believe their individualism was limited by the government. This shows how people feel less of themselves in a civilized community and more restricted by the laws that control and protect all citizens from each other's natural state. We hope that you enjoyed our presentation and that you gained some insight into the government's role and effect on our humanity.
Oh, we have a chicken! Oh, we want our tripod!
We just, oh my god.
It's not funny. Individuals. The anti-individualistic decisions. Dad, I'm filming! I was in the middle of filming. You messed me up, Dad. We have to. No, it has.